Yo, dude, that episode of Rakugo completely fucked me over. Yo. I mean, we should have all seen this coming. We knew that Yakumo was definitely hiding something. But to see what actually transpired in the events before Sukeroku's death. Yo, dude. What the fuck? Getting goosebumps and shit, man. Yo. And now it's quite clear. Now it's quite clear what the opening signifies. Now it's quite clear. We have, in the opening, we have Yakumo. If you see that one scene where everyone is around him, everyone that is connected to Yakumo, he looks away from everyone, and then everyone dissipates. This symbolizes that Yakumo is hiding all of, his emotions and even his past to everyone. He's not, he's just holding everything in. And he will bring it to his grave. And that's where we see Sukeroku and, come around behind him. He opens up and it's an empty skeleton. Yakumo wants to bring the past between him and Sukeroku to his death. Dude, this fucking opening in the episode, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. But just what happened in that scene, it's really hard to fathom. Okay, let's just talk about it. So originally in Season 1 of Shouwa, we found out how Sukeroku ended up dying. And as well as Miyokichi, I think that was Sukero's lover as well as Yakumo's, but you get my point. I do remember that basically Sukeroku and the lover ended up dying because they were put over the edge on a balcony and they both completely fell off, and Yakumo was trying to help them get back up. However, he ultimately failed and they perished from falling off that high, from how high they were up, and that led them to their death. However, in Season 2, the story is entirely different, and we finally get the true story. This guy, I think it was the servant of Yakumo as well as Sukeroku, as well as Kanatsu, end up hearing a tussle in, Sukeroku's room. They open up the door, and all they see, especially Konatsu, all she sees is Yakumo holding Sukeroku in his arms. Sukeroku is gushing out blood. The scene just looks, it looks so intense. That's the first thing she sees. And this, at a young age, seeing this is what's going to affect her. This has led her to PTSD from just seeing her father in Yakumo's arms. That's the first thing that popped in her mind, that Yakumo was to blame. And this is why we see in Season 2 that, in a way, Yakumo, from the events that transpired in Season 1, was the one who ended up causing all this and ultimately led Sukeroku to his death. But we have Miyokichi, the lover of both the two, I guess, in secret, in the corner of the room, just covered in blood, and she has the knife, on the ground next to her, and she says to Konatsu, "I stabbed Sukeroku." Konatsu just freaks out, starts punching her mother, and is like, no, you didn't, no, give daddy back, give daddy back. They end up going to the balcony, and the mother ends up getting pushed over the edge, trying to step away from her daughter, and Sukeroku ends up grabbing Miyokichi by the hand, and that is where we see the balcony actually start to, being affected by the amount of weight that they were holding. And then Yakumo jumps in to try to save the two of them. However, he ultimately fails. And Konatsu screaming, dude. The sound of a child just, going through that traumatic experience, I was like, no, dude, the voice acting in Shouwa is just so fucking good. It's so fucking good. It really does leave an impact on you. If that scene did not, impact you in any way, I don't know what sort of scene, would. I mean, just what transpired in that scene alone in Rakugo, holy shit, that was intense. And all Yakumo could have do was just hold Konatsu in his arms and covering her eyes, because seeing this at a very young age, the mother, the father, just being all bloodied up, the mother ended up stabbing the father, and then both of them end up perishing to their death at a very young age. That was so traumatic for her. The event right there ended up causing her to faint. Ever since that day, she was left with PTSD. Dude, and this is why, why she hates Yakumo. Why she hates, because ultimately he was technically the one that caused all this. And it's just something that has been plaguing Yakumo's life the whole time, and it's something that he can never give Konatsu back. This is what makes it really, really sad, especially with Yakumo ending, his Rakugo in this episode. He says he's never going to do it again because he's already at the age in which he shouldn't be able to do it, and just how he collapsed in a few episodes ago, he just cannot do it. He cannot do it because he is now realizing that he is about to move on, to pass. And he is going to take Sukeroku's freaking past and his past to his grave without Konatsu knowing. Only a few people know, including Yotaro. But Konatsu does not know all this. What really went down. It's very vague to her what happened in the past, because, she was at a very young age. But, dude, this episode, man, it was so... it fucked me over, dude. And just to see that end where we see Yotaro just hugging Konatsu because of the fact that he learned of this event, he feels so bad for Konatsu, and she does not even know all this. It's just really sad. It's really sad. And even if, Yotaro was to tell her all this, I don't know how it would affect her. I really do not know. Once she knows the truth, will she end up, hate Yakumo even more? Or, it's insane, dude. It's freaking, dude. I'm pretty sure eventually she is going to find out, but it's going to be after Yakumo's death, most likely. Most likely. He's going to take all of those events that transpired in the past down to his grave without Konatsu knowing. Not at least until he passes. But, man, this was an amazing episode of Rakugo. Just finding out what really went down. Konatsu's history with everything, it just, even, that one scene where we see Yakumo seeing Sukeroku for the first time. He's like, yo, this is Sukeroku. And Yakumo as well, performing their Rakugo. Like, he knew Yakumo's Rakugo was so good, you know, and it felt like he was actually there. But then he saw Sukeroku's Rakugo, and he was completely taken away by that. He actually felt like he was in the room. That's how powerful it was. He thought he was actually reliving Sukeroku's Rakugo, like he was there. Like, he knew his master's Rakugo was on point, but once seeing Sukeroku, he was like, yo, he's on a whole nother level. This is the real Sukeroku. This is what Yakumo has told me in the past. This was the guy who was like a brother to Yakumo. Like, damn, dude, yo. A lot of emotions in this episode, man. A lot of emotions. Like, just what everything went down. Everything that went down. This was easily a 10 out of 10 episode. Probably the best episode that we have seen in Rakugo this far. At least one of my favorites. Definitely my favorite of the series. Oh, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as to what you guys thought about this episode of Rakugo. What were your overall thoughts? Like, what did you think about that event that ended up going down? Also, do you think Konatsu will find out by the end of the series after Yakumo passes? Just let me know your overall thoughts on what you thought about this episode, because it was truly amazing, and I really do want to know what you guys thought about this episode as well. So yeah, definitely let me know your comments on Professor Anime, and I will catch you all in the next one.